Did you know that it takes 255 years to look at every person living on Earth? For millions of years, our ancestors lived in small groups of 20 to 30 people. Our consciousness has evolved to help us understand these small groups, but recently our communities have grown and changed rapidly. Although our intellects are flexible and adaptive, our stereotypes, formed over millions of years, have not kept up with the pace of cultural development. We still think of cities, countries, and groups of countries as small groups, but in fact they are much larger. For example, the average European city is home to about 40,000 people, and it would take us more than 11 hours to count them all. There are about 750 million people on the entire European continent, which would take almost 24 years to count them in 1 second per person. And just to look at every person currently living on Earth would take over 255 years. Have you ever wondered about the intelligence of an individual neuron? Although neurons themselves have no intelligence, when you combine them into a human brain, they can do amazing things, like compose music and learn physics. This is called induction, when the sum of something is greater than the sum of its parts. The more neurons there are, the less important an individual neuron becomes, and the more important are the properties of the whole neuron aggregate. But this is not only true for neurons. Multitudes of people gathered in large communities acquire new qualities and lose the old ones. Just as cells form tissues, tissues form organs, and organs form organisms, so people gather together to form a new form of living matter, superorganisms. Bees and ants do the same thing, coming together in hives and anthills. Understanding how superorganisms work is crucial to influencing them, and changing their structure from within can lead to civilized behavior that benefits individuals. Did you know that humans have achieved in just a few 100,000 years what it took biological evolution millions of years to accomplish? Years ago, our ancestors lived in groups to protect themselves from predators and gather food, just as herd animals do. But over time, these groups evolved into complex societies with hundreds of thousands of occupations. Biologists call such structures superorganisms. The process of this transformation is similar to how single-celled organisms first formed colonies, which eventually evolved into multicellular organisms consisting of billions of cells, each with distinct functions. Although the exact timing of this is still under debate, it is clear that humans have achieved the same type of evolution thousands of times faster, creating a vast array of social and technological superorganisms that continue to evolve and adapt. Did you know that it's possible to cross our galaxy in less than a second? Time is not immutable, it slows down as we move faster in space. The faster we move through space, the slower we move through time. Our galaxy is so big that even light takes 100,000 years to travel from one end to the other. But if we flew in a spaceship at close to the speed of light, time would slow down for us. For an observer on Earth, the journey might take hundreds of thousands of years, but for those inside the ship, it would be a matter of moments. This amazing property of time opens for us the theoretical possibility of traveling vast distances through space within a human lifetime. Have you ever wondered why a crowd might behave like a wild animal? It's because a crowd is a new entity where individuals lose their individuality. Just as billions of unintelligent neurons form an intelligent brain, billions of intelligent beings can form an unintelligent entity at a higher level of organization. But what if humanity were confronted with an entity whose intelligence is at the level of the biosphere? It would be composed of billions of organisms, just as we are composed of billions of cells. To it, an individual human being would be more insignificant than a bacterium to us. And it would see humanity as a single being made up of billions of differentiated organisms. We would see it as a new world inhabited by billions of creatures, while it would see us as an amorphous primitive entity eating oil and other organics. Two forms of intelligent life would collide in the same place, but never realize it. Intelligence can exist at different levels of organization of living matter, and ours is only one of them. Have you ever wondered why some people risk their lives for strangers, while others are ruthless to everyone but themselves? Every trait has a norm, a boundary within which it is found in a population. The laws by which the distribution within these boundaries occurs are universal to all living things. For example, the average height is 165 centimeters, with half of the people shorter and the other half taller. At the same time, a small percentage of people are at the very edges. 1 out of 200 people is either over 2 meters or under 120 centimeters. This distribution is called normal. Empathy is also a trait, and it too obeys the law of the normal distribution. Most people are somewhere in the middle, balancing between selfishness and unselfishness. At one end are psychopaths who have no empathy, and at the other end are superempaths for whom other people's lives are more precious than their own. By understanding the laws of the distribution of traits, we can improve social structures and humanity as a whole. Have you ever wondered why some civilizations thrive and others collapse? Since the emergence of the first human community, a new round of human evolution has begun, the evolution of superorganisms. Just as the qualities of animals are composed of similar cells that, depending on the structure of their interaction, form completely different organisms, human superorganisms are composed of people and differ in the principles by which these people interact. Like living organisms, civilizations evolve and adapt. Progress helps in this, but does not in itself guarantee survival. Many more advanced civilizations have failed because of their inability to defend themselves against aggressive and less advanced neighbors. Today there are several competing civilizations with fundamental differences in structure. They are closely intertwined, but some are based on strong central authority, others on decentralization. Humanism and the pursuit of progress play different roles in their cultures. And the future of all humanity depends on which structure is stronger.